Okay. Well, guess that'll work for now. Okay, what's going on with this thing? Come on, camera. Son of a bitch. Hold up. Streaming profiles. Give me 1 minute. I just got to figure out why this is not working on my camera now. Okay, fine. Stream my neighborhood. Hold up. Okay, I think that's working now. Is that working? It looks mirrored on my end, but whatever. But anyways, okay. So I know there's a lot of people having issues with V2 hooking up to like Artisan, because it's kind of weird because you have to do like a Bluetooth thing to connect it, and then the serial connection is not working through USB. So I decided maybe making a video and then just upload it online later of how to connect the V2. Let me turn that off. How to connect the V2 to Artisan. So let's go ahead and try that for today. But if you all you let me see. Let me open up chat real quick and see if you guys have any questions. There's a lot of things that happened recently. I don't know if you saw all the cool stuff that that's in this part. Hold on. In this thread. I'm looking. Wait. This thread now. Yeah, I just put that link to the thread, but there's like a bunch of new, there's the big gold convention at Shanghai, and a lot of the guys like from High Beam and Haha Sky was there, and there's another guy named Thank God. I think they're all like Shanghai right now. They're all just hanging out and looking up cool stuff. So there's a bunch of like cool coffee roasting stuff that recently come out. Other roasters. There's another competitor now to the Skywalker. The Schmola. It's supposed to be like a $300 roaster that's supposed to compete. So we're getting more roasting friends. But that's the cool thing about it is we get all these new toys to play with. There's that new LeBrew thing. Has some kind of, it has lasers, and it does stuff with Agtron and just monitors your roast by using lasers. I have no idea how it works. It's pretty awesome though. If it does work. We've got to see if that works, but let's see. But anyways, let's go try to set up this V2 real quick. I just set up new things, so I'm just see if this works. That work? Yes, that worked. Okay, perfect.
That work? Yes, that worked. Okay, perfect.
The V1, I got the V2 here.
I got the V1, I got the V2 here.
Camera in the front. There we go. V2, V1. I'm gonna try hooking this up. I'm gonna try roasting with it, but I had my computer recently like stopped working. So now I'm using literally just this like laptop over here. And I got this like $179 ThinkPad laptop I'm using. So hopefully this works and it doesn't blow up. Very cheap laptop. But anyways, let's get to the window mode. Let's try hooking this up. Let me get Artisan set up. Let's let that load. Later, is there a way to use the auto roasting settings in the V2 from the touchscreen? But oh, I don't think so. No, yeah, like there's a total disconnect when you start using the tablet, because once you put it to Bluetooth setting, you can't really use the tablet anymore. And this one shut off automatically. Oh, there it is. Okay. I think we should probably set up like roasting profiles for it. At least put it on like Artisan A-Log or something. There we go. All right. So let's get this all set up. I haven't installed it yet, so let's go do that first. Let me put a jacket on. I'm in my garage and it's freezing out here. All right. Also, if you want V2, I think there's the group. I still has a few more spots left. Like I think like three or four spots left. If you want to try to get one for $550. And you can keep signing up until keep signing up until like I hit 40 paid, not just 40 people signed up, but I need like at least 40 people paid up. And anything else about the? Oh yeah, also if what's it called? If you want to, yeah, if you wanted a shipping quote, it's gonna take a little bit because Vanessa from iTop is actually at that was at that convention. And I think she's traveling back or whatever. So I'll get you a quote a little bit later. All right, so let's go ahead. First, let's go download the iTop stuff. So all the profiles and everything. We'll go that way. So for setting up the V2, you probably want to download the all the. Oh, there's another. What was that? Okay, whatever. That's just another convention. So you could do the download setup over here. I'll put the link on here too. Here's the link for that. Because what you want to do is you want to download the setup over here, Artisan settings. And then it's the A-log file, so you'll just kind of just click that and it should just pop up into Artisan. All right, so let's see, we'll just have to load it. Load settings, download. All right, that's all loaded up. All right, so now I'm going to connect it via Bluetooth. So let's go back to the top.
I'll load it up. All right, so now I'm going to connect it via Bluetooth.
So let's get back to the top. So Bluetooth, you're going to want to do settings. This is Bluetooth
So
off.
Bluetooth.
You want to hit Bluetooth on.
You're going to want to do settings. This is Bluetooth off.
Go back to the window. Now for your Windows user, you just have to go to your Bluetooth settings and then hit add Bluetooth. You want to look for AK Roaster. The pin is usually 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect. It says we're ready to go. So once that's in, hopefully this works. You should be able to go to tools. Let's put that, let's expand that. Port. So I haven't figured out a way to really figure out which one is which. So I will hit 5 or 6 and I'll just keep hitting until I get temperatures. I got lucky. All right. That never happens. Okay. So now it's all set up. So there's the drum. You got the air. And then you got your set value. They use software PIDs on this, so if you want to use the software PID, you could keep all these settings on, but if not, you don't want to use it, you could just hit. If you want to go full manual, you could just do off and keep it off. And then burner, you could turn up. So let's go to the front again. And then you can see the burners on. So I'm gonna let that warm up for a bit so I can maybe do a roast. But yeah, it's not too bad of a setup. That was just with that's just Bluetooth. I think you could serial connect it too. Let me. Do I have an extra USB port? I don't think so. Let's see if I can do it. I don't think I have the extra communication wire, but that's one thing you could do is through Bluetooth. The only thing is, it's just weird. I don't know which port it is half the time, so I usually just guess. So I'll go to port. I just picked COM6. I had no rhyme or reason to pick it. You could have tried 7 or 5, but I just picked 6 because I felt like a good number to pick. So I hit 6, and then yeah, I pretty much that's all I did, and then hit OK. I think the main thing is you have to download this their A-log file. Or is it an A-log file? I think it's a different kind of setting. It's their settings file. Asset files, there you go. .aset. So when I was looking here, I was looking at this port. Went to comms. I just picked 6. Half the time I pick 7 or the one below, but this time I just picked this one instead for no rhyme or reason. And it seemed to work okay. Yeah, but like I said, just go to help, load your settings, and make sure you download that asset file from the Akimata site. All right, so that's one way of doing it. Oh, so now it doesn't want to turn on. Oh, let me see. I should turn off setting. So this is the error I think everyone's getting. It does this thing where it like locks up after your first roast, then you can't go back to it. But somebody told me there's a setting. I think it was a sampling setting. Was it Theodred? I'll have to look it up. Let me put this over here. All right. So sometimes I'll lock up like this, and you just have to like Control Alt Delete and close Artisan. Start it up again. Load settings, load that asset file, just to make sure. Then, let's see, let's go find that port again. Hopefully it works. 6 and 7. There is a setting that's supposed to be, let me look it up in Discord. Someone said they fixed this issue. Let me see. Or maybe that was just for Mac users. Let's look it up. Mac. Go to config sampling. Oh, okay. It was for Mac users? Okay. I was hoping it was for us. Let's do keep on. I think that's what he wanted us to do. This setting tells Artisan to keep sampling. Okay. Let's try it. Whatever. That's fine. It's not working now. Oh, let me turn the Bluetooth back on. Turn that off. Let it shut down. And then, oops. All right. So I went here, I went to sampling. Come back. Brings up this thing. So when you hit sampling, it'll say keep on. So we'll try keeping it on. And then I will go to port. Go back to 6. Let's start it up again. Maybe that was the fix. I'm not sure. Thanks, Miguel. The living legend himself. I didn't know Sloppy Josh was going to be here. I should have put on better clothes. I'm going to just call him out. Hi, buddy. So if you don't know, this is Sloppy Josh. This is the guy who started this whole thing. He's the reason why we're all here. He put Artisan on. He put the Arduino on the back of the Skywalker, and then away it took off. Do you have a mic? You want to talk? I thought I was gonna have trouble like setting up this V2, but now it looks like it's actually pretty easy to set up. Buzzme wants to speak. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna see if we're gonna have that issue again because I can see my temperatures are going up. All right, I set the cooling fan on, so I'm gonna try turning it back on. Okay, it didn't do the thing. It didn't have any issues. So I think we fixed that part. Let me turn off the there's so many new things. Just like within the last day. Well, in the last week, they put more information out about the small Q-beam, which is the smaller version of the V1. Then they just, well, like, I don't know, well, Caterjoy, one of the other vendors, decided they wanted to showcase the 1 kilogram roaster. So, so yeah, they decided that they were gonna try to release it by June, was what they're saying, because I guess there's like a Chinese Facebook group, and they're trying to get people to join up so they could get the new 1 kilogram unit, which is basically an enormous V1. So when that happened, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Let's see. Let's check out the. There's some things that are kind of interesting about it. Like they literally took the same siphon setup as the what's it called? The M2, which is here. I'm gonna post this up. That'd be good. Save image. So that's so slow. But there's a back image of it now. I wonder if I'll upload it here. this over here. Let's do window. So this is basically the same. It's basically the same as what the M2 and the M1 have in terms of how they use this. What's this called? This like regular PC fan to siphon. Well, that's what Haha Sky said. It's like a siphon setup where it, I guess it just pulls air out of there and mains some kind of airflow. I have no idea how it works. I'm just curious to see how it works whenever they decide to release it. But they're doing some interesting things. Another interesting thing is the, where is it at? Here, this thing. This thing. It's the Rossi Next. It's like Agtron and first crack detection. So there's like I think there's a mic setup with it. So you could have a mic detect first crack, and then you got this little laser thing shooting into your roasting window door to see what level, like what roast, basically what roast, what's it called, the color of the bean. It uses the Agtron whatever to kind of see if it's a dark, medium, or light roast. Then you have this lovely new roaster. It's supposed to be the competitor, I guess, for the Skywalker. Every time I think of Shmola, I think of the word Schmegma, so I don't have a good like association with this roaster or with this brand. I really wish it was a better name for this roaster. Yeah, the yellow looks gross. Even the red looks gross. I think a powder coated color would have been a lot better. But I mean, whatever. Can't think of any other cool stuff that's there. Oh yeah, and here's the big 1 kilogram thing. Haha Sky was taking pictures of it. You got a better laptop that actually does ROR, and then it's just a bigger version of the V1 or V2, even bigger laptop, or not laptop, tablet. And then it's a dual. What's it called? A dual lamp setup versus like a single or a triple. I think triple was what what's that place called? Rubase uses like a triple setup for their bigger roasters. But yeah, that's all the cool stuff they posted up for us. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know anything else I could show you. And if anyone has any pictures, if you could upload them, that'd be great. If you're there, or I'm hoping to go to some kind of expo one day because I think that'd be pretty interesting. Okay, all right, let's get back to roasting. Oh yeah, Greg, you can get it. We'll do a roast right now. I'll show you. It'll bring up the ROR curve. Let's warm this bad boy up. It's on. So I'll just do a quick roasting little session with it. So I'm gonna go manual. I'm not gonna use set value or the PID control at all. I'm just gonna go just with the burner. So when I roast, you don't have to do these settings either. You can do whatever you want, but typically I'll set my air and I'll keep it to one setting for the whole time because I'm not advanced yet. And then for the drum, I have no idea why they keep it to 80, but I'm gonna just bring it as low as I can because the lower the drum speed, the less likely chance of beans going on top and affecting the bean on the flat side by burning it. Usually if you go too fast, the beans fling over the lamp, the flat side goes on top of the lamp, and once it goes on top of the lamp, it slides down and then it starts to burn the flat side of the bean. So that's why we keep RPM. Some say even as low as 30 to 40 RPM, which is super slow. But I do usually at 50, and I've noticed that I no longer get the flat side burns on my beans. So that's always a plus. Oh, I'm back. Okay, so that's why I set it up to 80. With this batch, I think I'm gonna do a full bag, which is usually 460 grams in a Sweet Maria bag. So let's do. Was wondering if you could get the computer of the new. Maybe if they use the same board. I'm not sure if they're going to use the same board. They usually won't give us a lot of information about it, unless you're like a vendor. We have a weird relationship when it comes to the OEMs and the vendors, because we're more of like an open community, doing all these little extra stuff to it, and things like that will void warranty. Well, not necessarily, but it affects repairs, so they don't give us too much information. So right here I have a Peru Habal Perlameo. Perlameo? It's from Peru. So I should be good and measure you know what? They usually come out to like 460, 50 grams. Let me double check. I'm gonna go measure this real quick. I should just bring the scale out here. Oh, it's come. All right. Let's go switch to top. Let's go switch to top. All right. I should warm this up too. All right. Okay. So I'll show you how. I should warm this up. So I'll use the PID control just to do to set up warm up temperature. So I'm gonna hit the PID on. Hit OK. Then I'm just gonna bring this up to, let's bring it up to 198. If you want to verify if it works, you could always drop it and see if it goes up and down. Yeah, it's working. So if I bring it up to say 200 or 198 for a heat temperature, then you'll see the burner go up. That kind of indicates that your PID is working. Keep dropping beans. So let's go back to front, or let's go back to top camera. Keep dropping beans. So let's go back to front, or let's go back to top camera. Okay, 460. Actually, it was pretty spot on. I'm assuming maybe the bag is 460. Like 2 grams or whatever. But usually they measure it out to like 460 grams when they ship it out to me.
I'm assuming maybe the bag is like 2 grams or whatever. But usually they measure it out to like 460 grams.
So since we're doing a little bit more, I'm doing
from Sweet Maria.
I'm doing 460 grams. I'm gonna go ahead and just probably do my starting temperature at about 200. Yeah, I'll do 198. We'll do 198 today. And then before I do my charge, I put the beans inside. I'm gonna do about I'm gonna keep it around 80% for the burner. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But let's wait for this to warm up. So yeah. So what I'll do for the V2, I'll wait for like 5 minutes or until the ET environmental temperature gets to 168 or something. This is about the only time I find the environmental temperature probe useful at all. It's kind of useless throughout the whole roast. I apologize if I've offended you, but yeah, I find ET to be pretty useless. Don't be like me. I did not empty out my chaff tray.
I did not
Empty this out real quick.
empty
Always
out
make
my
sure to empty it out.
So
That's how fires happen.
Always make sure to empty it out. That's how fires happen.
Oh, nice little setup you got there, Greg. There's a vent on top of that.
Oh, nice little setup you
The
got there,
filter.
Greg. There's a vent on top of that.
I just don't. Like, I think
the
most of us
filter
just eventually just stop using the filter
kinda
because
works.
A, we don't want to keep buying filters, and then B,
I just don't.
the
I think
top
most of us
filter
just
usually,
eventually just stop using
mine
the
keep
filter
melting.
because A, we don't want to keep buying filters, and then
I'm
B,
surprisingly, I'm melting them on the top. So I
the
never use
top
this.
filter usually
top
mine
filter
keep
anymore.
melting.
Oh, I need to open up my
And
garage.
surprisingly, I'm melting them on the top, so I never use this.
Otherwise, I'm going to
top
hotbox
filter
my
anymore.
garage with carcinogens.
Oh, I need to open up my
I still
garage.
haven't set up a fancy exhaust here yet. Otherwise, I'm going to hotbox my garage with carcinogens.
I still haven't set up a fancy exhaust here yet.
So I usually just go ahead and don't roast till like, what's it called? To frickin' second crack anymore. Rarely do I go dark. So while we're waiting, oh, that's kind of warming up. We'll warm up a little bit longer. I think a bunch of us now have the V2 out there. There's the third group. I think we about 40 people signed up, but not everyone sticks with it, and they'll probably have a few dropouts. So feel free to keep signing up for it. I don't know if it's easier to hear first crack with the cooling tray out. The only time I have a hard time hearing like first crack is depending on the bean. Like I've noticed like certain Ethiopians and Yirgachefs, I noticed that was like really hard to hear. Some beans are like really light when it comes to their first crack, and then some sound like they're like I don't know, like bang bang like a gun. But there's a few beans I've encountered where literally I couldn't hear first crack and I was panicking. Okay, so the burner's doing a pretty good job keeping it at 198, or the PID. I got a new book. I got Cultivar from Rob Hoos, and he talks about like how the curve profiles kind of look like. I'll see if I can upload like a sketch of it later. and show you what kind of he thinks is the ideal curve for certain different types of beans. So not every profile or every kind of roasting curve is going to work for each bean. You have to kind of like roast the batch, see how that goes, and kind of develop the profile of the bean. Because he has like this, it's cultivar. I think the book, his name is Cultivar, and he just goes through a bunch of different beans and he tries to set up the most optimal profile for it, and then he goes by taste. And then he tries to replicate it on that, I think. So, good book to have. Let's see, let's look it up. Cultivar. Cultivar. Yeah, this thing. I'll get a link for you guys in case you want a pretty. I think it's a nice little book. It's kind of short, but I think it's worth it. Greg, so usually for the burn marks, it's usually what I'm talking about is like the flat side burn marks. I think if you have like scorching, maybe 205 is a little too high for that certain bean. All these other factors like bean density and all that kind of stuff kind of take a little bit of like, cause a little bit of issues with burning the sides of the bean, or scorching it. It's probably because it's too hot. Maybe 205 is a little bit too hot for it. How many grams are you roasting at a time? Like that definitely might be way too hot if it's if you're only doing like 300 grams or 250. All right. I think this is all warmed up. I'm going to start this roast. Let me see. That's low. Got it at 70. I'm going to turn the PID off. So you can do that right here by clicking off. Now I'm going to adjust everything by burner. So I'm going to bring this up to like 85. Then we're going to dump these beans in. So yeah, we'll do top. Dump these beans in. So and we'll do top. Ooh, it's getting high. Ooh, it's getting high. No, get in there. Oh, you hit start. No, get in there. There you go. Oh, I didn't hit start. There we go. Forgot to hit start. Got a little too excited. Oh, I didn't turn on the ROR curve. I hope I did. Yeah, I did. Delta BT. Okay. Should graph. Laser curve, filters, plotter. Oh no! I forgot to turn my curve on. This is what happens when I don't use Artisan for a long time. Let me find my phone. I don't know if I could turn the curve on now that I've roasted. Well, this is slightly annoying. Damn it. I've been using way too much high beam and I can't remember how to put the curve back on. Where is it? Automatic. I didn't hit charge. Ah, you're right. I'm fucking up really bad right now. There it is. Man, I'm not doing good right now. That's okay. We're gonna redo this one. I've been using high beam for the past like month and I just missing cues. We're gonna just cowboy roast this. We're just gonna go by smell and by touch and taste and by temperature. I'm gonna just drop this. We're gonna do another roast, I promise. I apologize for messing that up. So if you do what I did, now you just have to follow the phases. So around, I guess, 150 something, the browning phase should occur, like the end of yellow phase or whatever, or start of yellow phase, or dry end, I mean. So once you start seeing yellow, you can hit the dry end button. It's because I've been spoiled with auto charge by high beam. I mean, I could do auto charge on here too. A little grassy. I'm gonna drop down the temperature. We're going a little fast. So dry in. Now, every time you pull the char out, you will affect the ROR curve. So a lot of people get really cautious when they don't want to pull the char out. I'm a firm believer that you got to smell and see what the beans look like when it's roasting. In here. So for the Skywalker, for the NTC probe, usually around 185, 186 is when first crack hits. So I'm just kind of anticipating I'll start to hear first crack around there. And you hear poofs, you know, when you hear those poofs, I feel like that's chaff or something blowing out. But it's when you start hearing the pop, pop, pops. And you have to, and I can echo this with 80 cent, with Guatemalan beans. Okay. Yeah, around 85, 86, sometimes 190 with certain beans. They'll hit up to 190 and then they'll start popping. But for the Skywalker, around 180. So it's really hard to like, on my roast it was 189, 190. I think anything above like 185 to like 192, I've seen it, where first crack kind of hits. But sometimes I don't know if it's us because I didn't hear the first crack and because it's kind of loud. I'm not looking, I'll smell. I really enjoy smelling the coffee mid roast. Like sometimes you'll go from like a hay smell, and then you start smelling a little bit more nuttiness. And if you're old school, you could take a bite out of a bean. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting my face out of here. Pew. I hear there. First crack started. $189. Miguel called it. What was the over under on that? This is from Peru. Okay, so I like just to bring my first crack to about a minute and a half, but then I usually stalled the temperatures too. I didn't stall the temperatures enough. I should have dropped it really low, right after first crack or before. I definitely should have went lower on a bunch. This is a really fast roast. I usually like to shoot for 8 minutes. This is probably gonna taste like shit, but I'm gonna drop it. I've become too reliant on the ROR curve. But yeah, I hit this all in like 7 minutes. That is not good. I mean, and the roast will probably come out fine. But I do like to extend it out for 8 minutes. Usually the taste is kind of off. We'll do another roast. Let me do my between batch protocol. I don't have one. I'll just throw more beans in later. And so I'm definitely still a huge fan of, especially if you have the stock cooler setup. I'm really a huge fan of agitating it. You can drop them in, and then if you don't do anything and you leave the fan on, sometimes you could have certain sections hit like second crack. I've had that happen once, and it is pretty hilarious. Because I think I had like the middle portion of the beans like it dropped here, and I think there was just a bunch of so much heat, and I didn't agitate it to the point where it went into second crack. Like you just see like a little bit of smoke coming out here, and you just hear the popping in one distinct area. So I'm a fan of agitating if you have the if you have that set up. If you have a internal cooler versus an external one. Ooh, hot. That's still hot. And then there's some people who like to use a thermometer to have it reach a certain temperature after it's cooled. I'm just a huge fan of, like, if it's cool to touch, then I can put it in a bag and let it rest. I'll let that go for a bit. Oh. Nope, go back up. There we go. Okay, that's cool enough. Let's do it again. Turn this off. We'll save this row. Oh. Save profile, yes. I need to make a new roast folder. Roast. I'll put the data in later. I don't know where I put the bag, so I'll just put this right here. Tuck that away. All right, we'll go back to window. Put it back to 70. Turn on the PID. I'm gonna set that back to 198, and I'm gonna turn the bean coolers off. All right, and we'll go back at it. Let's make sure. Yep, let's clear this out. And then if you got one of these blower things, they're really nice to have. I'm just gonna yellow it and just. I should have muted the mic. And I'll vacuum up all that stuff later. I promise. All right. Put the trier back in. We'll wait till this heats back up. Oh, I should measure the other one. So let me show you the spread of beans I got. So I got all these. I did a Sweet Maria sampler, so I got all these beans in here. Ooh, that's an old one. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Nope. Oh, what the heck? Costa Rica. Terrazu el Mango. Oh, that's right, Torvix. That's right, Costa Rica. Let's do a Torvix roast. Sorry, I hope I didn't put you on blast and tell everyone where you live, but yeah, Torvix. I didn't get anybody shipping yet because everyone at ITOP is at that convention. So they haven't given me the quotes for this other people that just signed up. So I'm just waiting on that. Oh, you jumped to 202. I'll wait till that goes back down. Let's go measure this. Oh, you jumped to 202. I'll wait till that goes back down. Let's go measure this. 466. 466. So clean, bright, and so this is the Costa Rica Terrazu. So clean, bright, and so this is the Costa Rica clean, bright, and full of sweetness. Harkens back to classic Costa Rican profile. I don't know what that is.
El Mango, cleanly bright and full of sweetness.
Dark sugar, molasses cookie, Costa Rican caramelized profile. Notes, bright tea, and lemon accents.
Dark sugar, molasses cookie, caramelized notes, bright tea, and lemon accents. I'll probably taste like
fruity.
Molasses as most, maybe sugar.
Tastes like flowers. No, I'm not sure.
Fruity.
Bright tea and lemon accents.
Tastes like flowers. No,
we'll try to go low. Sure. Or we'll try to go light.
Bright tea and lemon accents. We'll try to go low, or we'll try to go a light roast on that. Let me make sure my...
Check my phone real quick. ROR on Artisan.
Check my phone real quick. ROR on Artisan.
So curves. Let me just make sure.
So curves. Let me just make sure. That's all on.
Okay. That's where I messed up. Didn't push the charge button during the roast.
Push the charge button during the roast. Okay. That's where I messed up. Didn't push the charge button during the roast.
Optimal smoothing. Okay. Alright, whatever.
Optimal smoothing.
Okay, let's try this again.
Alright, whatever. Okay, let's try this again.
Since we're at like 460, I will probably
turn
bring
up
this
the PID off. Since we're at like 460,
that was a little fast last time. So
I
I'll bring
will
it down.
probably bring this up. Yeah, that was a little fast last time, so I'll bring it down to 80.
Let's drop it in again. I'm gonna hit start. Okay.
Let's drop it in again.
Now I'm gonna drop this in.
I'm gonna hit start.
Make sure that bottom one's tucked in. Where'd my curve at? There it is. Ooh. There's ROR right here. I should have changed the color of that. That's a terrible color to have. Okay. All right, so now that I got my ROR curve, I'm gonna start waiting until it kind of peaks. Because we want to get that smooth ROR decline that everybody loves, right? So I try to see when it peaks out. Let's see, it keeps going up and down. I try not to move the trier. If I see a little bit of a plateau, then I'll start backing off a little bit in terms of temperature. But I'll keep the air about the same. Still peaking up a little bit of downward trend. You're just kind of monitoring. All right, hit a bit of plateau, so I'm gonna just drop it down quite a bit. Maybe drop it down a little bit more. Yeah, that was a little too much. Ooh, I'm crashing it pretty hard. I shouldn't have let that down that fast. Okay. Okay. And you only could go in like increments of 5 with the Skywalkers. They don't let us do increments of 1. Well, there's no real changes that occur unless you do like increments of 5. So I'm just kind of looking at ROR, seeing how that looks like. I'm going to keep everything the same. I'll keep air the same. Just changing temperature, or just changing burner, because burner is the biggest influence on the bean right now. If I notice a little upward trend, I might just drop it down just by a factor of 5. Or not factor of 5, but like increment of 5. Also, try to keep note of when you pull the chire out, because that will affect your ROR. I like to sniff it, make sure I know everything's okay. Try to put it back in right away. Try to ride it out. Sometimes I get a little concerned at the ROR if it starts to do that quick spike. But just play it out, see how long it goes. You just don't want to like a huge spike right back up and then back down or something like that. Which is why you need to control the temps and slower it at a slow rate. Let me see if that hit. Oh wow, that's a good burned one. Can't go lower. Had a really bad burnt one in there. All right, that's dry end. All right, now we're just gonna wait out in here for first crack. I'll probably drop the temperature down just a little bit again. One more increment of 5. Gonna wait for first crack, keep monitoring the ROR. We're basically just using that as our speedometer, right? Seeing how fast we're going, what changes we need to make. We need to go slower, we need to go faster. But the whole purpose is to get the ROR to a nice decline. We went past the 8-minute mark. I usually shoot for 8 because I like to try that Nordic style of roasting. But it's all right. Hitting a little bit of a flat line, so I'm going to drop it down again. Drop it down again. Hello. There we go. You could try. It has to be, I think it pretty much has to be, if you want to do that kind of stuff, you got to like have a lot of that same bean and then do one profile that you like and then try using that profile again on the next set of the same bean. You just can't use it for different beans. I learned that the hard way. Each kind of bean will be different, so it won't take to the profile as well as you think it would. But yeah, if you were to use the same bean and you get this profile, you could try adding it on and then having it be controlled by a PID. This is gonna be a long roast. I think I dropped the temperatures way too down, too fast. I think SCA guidelines is like the roast has to be under 12 minutes. If you want to try following like competitive roasting, I think that's what it is. Let me double check. SCA roasting. Eight to 12 minutes. So in those like roasting competitions of SCA, whatever, you got to finish the roast in like 12. Man, we're hitting a big plateau. Damn, this is taking a long time. Too long, too long. Yeah, this is taking long. I'm gonna bump up the temperature for this one. You're gonna see a big increase in ROR. I don't know if these are gonna taste good, but it's all right. Your first crack. There it is. Wait. I heard a pop pop and then it went away. I didn't hear the third pop. There. So for this one, I'm pretty sure I messed up on this one. It just took way too long. I'll show you where I messed up. I think I messed up right here. I should have extended it out and then dropped it around the 4-minute mark. For this one, I'm just gonna bring it to first crack about a minute and then I'll drop it. But I'll go over what I think I messed up on. I really think I messed up on the 4-minute mark. I probably should have held it out to there and then dropped it slowly. Or even maybe a little bit before at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. probably would have dropped it by an increment of 5 and then another increment of 5 and then maybe a bigger drop after 4 because you wanted the momentum to carry on. That's about a minute in, so I'm just going to head and I'm going to just drop it right here.
Boy, right in there.
See how it burned on the flat side?
See how it burned on the flat side?
Let me pull it out.
I can't really see it. It fell. Let me pull it out.
That's one burnt bean. And because we're still going 55 RPM, I still think that's too fast for the jump speed.
One burnt bean.
50, I think 50
because we're still going 55 RPM, and I still think that's too fast for the jump speed. 50, I think 50 is the sweet spot.
Here, pull out that green bean and just toss them in there. Oh no.
Here, pull out that green bean.
Window. Alright. All right, so look at the curve again. Yeah, I just feel like this is too early of a time to drop your temperature at. This probably looks like what, the 2.5 minute mark. I probably should have extended it out, maybe just one more minute out. And I've heard people that they do roast, they'll have like hard markers for them. Like they'll be like, I need to drop this at the 4 minute mark because that's kind of like the way they like to roast. But yeah, I should have probably dropped it a little bit later, a lot less. Maybe not even go down to like, I don't even know what this was at. I need to put that marker feature on. You can see how much exactly what the amount was. But if that's 80, yeah, I think I just dropped it way too much. Had to go a little more conservative here. And then just to push the roast along, you see me go up here because we're kind of lingering at first crack. I generally like to keep my roast underneath, within the 8 to 12 minute mark. It's kind of, and mostly I do that because it's like an SCA guideline of where the roast during those competitions need to be between like 8 to 12 minutes. There's nothing wrong if you roast longer, as long as the beans taste good in the end. Still hot, still very hot. Yeah, this ROR curve probably should have been out just a little bit more and then back down all the way this way. Let me see if I could find an A-log of somebody else's roast we could look at. Someone put Ethiopian Yirgacheffe. That looks good. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna save this image. There we go. I'm gonna call them out real quick. Did your Irga come out good? And yeah, this is kind of like that, what they want to talk about, like with a declining ROR. You just want to keep going it down. You want to prevent really big spikes of like what I did in mine. You don't want it too big of a spike upwards, or trend upwards. You want to keep it just relatively flat. These little ups and downs don't really mean too much. It's when they go above a certain level, it kind of starts impacting the flavor. But just don't get too hung up on these like small ups and downs. Those aren't all flicks and crashes. It's trash, right? There's just like maybe little bumps, temperature. Maybe you pulled out the trier at that time and that bumped up a little bit and it goes back down. But those aren't considered those. Well, I won't even want to bring up flicks and crashes anymore because those, I'll pretend like they're not real. But you do want to make sure that there's no like incredibly big change, like right here. Like right here, I think it's probably gonna mess up the taste of the beans. Maybe we'll see. We don't know until we find out, until we try it. It's all speculation. I'm gonna turn this off. Turn the bean cooling off. Turn this off. Save that. I'm just gonna turn this on so I can turn off the beam thing. There we go. No, don't start. There we go. Okay, that's an event thing. I probably just stay on there and keep it off. There we go. Because we're about to use it kind of to go over it as an example, but I think it looks good, the declining curve. So it has been shown with each roaster, like with Rob Hoos to Scott Rao, whoever you like to believe in, that a declining roast is usually, a declining RR usually gets you the better taste. It looks good. Oh, that looks the same. Drum looks the same. Air, no changes. And when you start getting better at roasting, then you'll start adjusting like the exhaust air, because and then you'll start to be able to kind of really change like little parts of your profile. It's kind of more of advanced stuff because it doesn't really change too much when you change the exhaust. It does affect temperature, but it's like the biggest change in overall flavor and then getting to that air roast color is going to be the lamp, the infrared roaster. And then ET, you don't pay much attention to it throughout the roast. I literally think environmental temperature probe is there just to kind of tell you to help you with warming up your chamber before you you start roasting. I honestly don't think there's any like great benefit to following it during your roast. It's just another line. If you were to graph it, it'd just be another line that's in your way. It doesn't provide you much information because it's just telling you what the environment of the chamber is. And we're not a convection roaster, so we really don't need it. But what you can do if you want to use it is kind of like mind what your environmental temp is when you started your roast, and you kind of write that down, and then you could use that when you want to do another, when you want to start another roast and you want to use like your PID profile. Then you could start like really monitoring the environmental temperature at the beginning of the roast, because you just want all those variables to be kind of the same when you start doing auto roasting or following a curve that you made before. Also, what you don't want to do is just grab an A-log from us and then put it on Artisan and then run it on a totally separate kind of bean from a different place, different country, different type. Because even just like the same bean grown at different altitudes will affect like its density, and that affects roasting. And it won't be able to really follow that PID profile. And also, we only control the heat when we do PID. Like legitimate big roasters, they'll do things like monitor pressure differentials. They'll monitor exhaust temp probes. They'll monitor a whole bunch of other stuff that they could use in their like little calculations to get that exact same kind of profile they had before. Like a roux-based roaster, it has a ton of telemetry in it. It has the differential pressure. They have like I think they have like there's one for flow, one for environmental temperature, one for exhaust, bean temperature, and then I think that's it. I want to say that's it. I feel like there's more. I think maybe there's like what is it, whatever measures airflow? Not differential pressure is another one. But they have all sorts of telemetry in there to recreate the last roast. Let's see. I think that's cooled off. All right. So I'm going to upload this video. I just wanted to show people how to connect it and then roast with it. I think tomorrow I am going to do... I need to finish up some of these roasters for people wanting to use high beam. And then what else did I want to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to put in a TC4. Or not TC4, thermocouple. I wanted to put a thermocouple in one of the units with high beam. And then I also wanted to put a PT100 in one of the units using high beam. I already got it kind of set up here. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is the PT100 I'm going to put in. It already runs the PT100 for the bean temp, so I want to put that in and see how that goes. And then I got one with thermocouple. And those I want to try the thermocouple when I do the hardware PID implemented in the ESP32 that Mr. No One, or what's his name? He's the guy doing all the high beam coding now. He's a much better coder than I am. Not Mr. No One. It's the cat guy. But he's one of the coders in the high beam guy. What's his name? I should know his name. He does a lot of work, and I really should appreciate what he does because he fixed the code tremendously. Hoodie. That's his name, Hoodie. So I kind of want to see how a thermocouple would work in terms of when you're using it with PID control. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, I got to clean up and then pick up my kids. So Thanks for coming. Thanks for staying, all 11 of you. Appreciate it. I gotta talk to Sloppy Josh and see. Yeah, I'm gonna post it on YouTube, Miguel. I kind of want. I gotta plan a date with Sloppy. Not a date like we're going out, but like a date with Sloppy Josh, and then or because there's gonna be a Rob Hoos. He's gonna do a little bit of like a not a lecture, but he's gonna go over the roaster because he's had the roaster for about a month now, and he's been roasting with it. We've been trying to get Artisan on it, but it's been kind of being a pain in the ass. So I'm not gonna buy you dinner, but when Rob Hoos comes in, it'd be nice to have all of management there, and then just to ask questions because there's gonna be tons of questions. I don't know what I'm gonna ask them. I'm hoping the community comes up with some questions, but it'd be nice to have some other deep technical questions that other people can ask. But I could buy you some beans, Josh. I could definitely buy you some beans. I got some, I'm gonna get some geishas. All right. I've been on this for long. I gotta go clean up the house before my wife realizes I didn't go to work the full day. So, but we'll talk about it later, and then I'll tell you because during that time after the talk with Rob Hoos, we're gonna do a V2 giveaway and a V1 giveaway, and then probably some bean giveaways. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for staying, and I'll do another one tomorrow. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. All the new cool stuff we've been getting. I got just a bunch of new like mods I could put on a V1 now. I got the belts for the drum mod. I got the PT100s, the thermocouples, the new belts that are like they're tolerated up to 130C supposedly. So we'll see how that goes. I know there's a lot of people been having drum issues on the V1, so this might be a good option to change to, but it's just a little bit harder to install. We'll see though. All right. Thanks for staying.